Welcome back. We're pleased to bring you another episode of Game On, brought to you by the American Hotel. I'm Jess Gladhill.
And I'm Alex Mitchell.
And this week we were able to welcome the winner of the first of the American Hotel's Faces in the Crowd, Bob Goldsmith. He came in to collect his $50 voucher this week, and you could be next, so be sure to pick up your copy of Monday's Riv to see if you are our next Face in the Crowd.
Coming up on this week's show, we've got all the netball action for you. You've got the interleague teams announced there. We meet the wonderful Tanner Edwards, and we're going to catch up with some of the boys from the Tongala Football Club.
We also chatted with Martin Gleeson, Region Manager for AFL Goulburn Murray, and with some of that interview to come. And we welcome Echuca United's Dallas Price to read out this week's fixtures.
Massive show for you this week. Game on.
Get underway with this week's netball. We'll start with the GVL, Echuca losing 35 to Maroopna 42, and Casey Frame, the coach, actually put her hand up to say she probably lost it for the girls this week.
Yeah, she's talked a lot about, trying different players and different combinations on the court through the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season, and I think that's what sort of went wrong a little bit on the week, and just trying a few too many different things and not quite settling in. So look, 1 and 2 now after 3 rounds. They've probably got a lot of work to do, I reckon.
Yeah, but the start of the season is really where you can afford to try those combinations. So it was good to see her throw a few out there. The Cats, they probably just capitalised on a few of the Bombers' errors in the last, which got them over the line. But it was great to see Meg Road out there for her first A-grade game. I will head across to the Murray Netball League now, and Echuca United had an amazing victory over Rumballara, 79-18. Not quite the grand final rematch we were all expecting though, was it?
Yeah, that's right. It looks like a completely different Rumballara side and a different result. Well, I know United won, but it's a completely different margin. It's one of those hard ones for United where they couldn't really pick out the best players. That's how good the team was. So yeah, just a great performance.
Yeah, they just dominated all over the field, and they really brought that four-quarter consistency, which is what every team looks for each week. Rumballara, I'm not sure how they'll fare if they keep sustaining losses like that. So, it could be a very long season for those ones.
That's right. We move across to Tongala and Cobram. Tony again with another win, 48-31. Again, missing a few players, Tony. No Serena Backman, Katie Mulholland or Amy O'Neill. And again, they're finding a way to win. So that just shows you what a strong and sort of deep team they are. Yeah,
it's going to be great when they finally get all their players back and have a full-length squad out on the court to see just how strong they really are. And I think it's going to be very difficult to beat coming in the rest of the season.
Yeah, they're showing themselves to be a really, really strong team, and they're hoping to get some of those players back maybe after the interleague bye. So that'll be good. Moama, another massive win, 70-24. You sort of run out of things to say about a team like this when they're just winning by so much every week. But I mean, look, their pressure across the court is becoming a trademark. They're winning the ball back, and they've just been brilliant.
They're really good at playing from the front too, and they've shown they can run out a game. And a lot of teams, they tend to slack off when they start winning by that big margin. But Moama have shown week after week that they just continue to push it out, and they really want to win every quarter regardless of the scoreline.
Yeah, that's right. They're going up against the Denny Rams this week. They're also 4-0, so it's a bit of an early season blockbuster, but I think Denny have played sort of 4 different teams, so it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure.
So the interleague teams for the GV and Murray were announced this week earlier, and we had some local names there. But before we read out the list, we meet Tanner Edwards, who is an up-and-coming young netballer at Echuca United, and she's been a frequent player in Murray Netball League's junior representative squad.
So my name's Tanner Edwards and I'm 17 years old. We've completed 1 tournament at Wangaratta, and we got into semi-finals and unfortunately lost. But throughout the day, it was our first tournament, so it was a really strong and good tournament for us. And I think we learned so much. I'm sure all girls' dreams is to become a pro netballer, which is definitely my dream. But each week I set my own goals. We all set our own goals here at United, is to play whatever we want to do, is to play well, to do certain footworks, to do this, to do that, and it's just such a great opportunity to be able to set goals. And I think my goals is to definitely just take it week by week and to definitely, I want to play the best netball I can do.
Well, definitely a bright future there for Tanner. Going to take a look at the interleague squads now. Lisa Drysdale was the only player from Echuca Netball Club to be named in the GVL Open squad. They're going to take on Ovens and Murrays at Wodonga. Bridget Byrne, Meg Road and Claudia Mawson are all going to represent Echuca in the under-17 team. And also in that open team, we've got Elle Groves, Belinda Lees and Ash Mangan. They travel from Echuca Moama to play for Kai.
Well, in the Murray squad, we have Echuca United defenders Amy Gledhill and Elle Florence. Moama Netball Club has 4 players on the list. That's Emily Taverna, Emily Atkinson, Charlotte Long and Steph Watson. And the Tongala Football Netball Club has got Caddy Mulholland and Amy Hammond in the team, who are going to be coached by Alicia White this season. So there you have it. Let's head into this week's footy. But before we do, we caught up with the footy players from Tongala Football Netball Club.
Numurkah. Yeah, definitely Numurkah.
I have to say Numurkah because everyone always talks about how much they hate him.
Jonathan Brown. Oh, have to be Cat over here. Sure, definitely.
Probably Cat as well because he's a hero on and off the field.
You give us a good one at quarter time against Echuca United. I was thinking it's going to be a pretty long season, but no one individually. He doesn't give too many sprays, but it'd nearly have to be Jordan. Just wouldn't perform very well. But
probably Bailey Cox turned over about 6 of his 10 disposals in the first quarter. Probably against Nathalia, Bailey got in a biff and someone's kicking his shins.
Weirdest things, that's usually the umpires, they're all pretty weird.
Probably Riley Bacon, needs to cut it.
There's a few good haircuts getting around. Tennyson Tinning, he's got a pretty ordinary haircut. Yeah. It's gonna have to be this bloke again, Jordan, just because he cuts it himself. Tennyson Tinning every now and then when he plays seniors, you always have to go out to share, and he's always in there doing his hair and putting his sunnies on, acting pretty cool. Takes his time doing that. Be Nath over here. Looks at himself a bit. He loves it.
Probably myself.
Well, it was great to meet the boys from Tony there, and hopefully they're going to be getting that first win of the season soon. Moving on to this week's footy in the GVL, Echuca got that big first win of the season, was 62 points there against Mooroopna.
Yeah, the boys really lifted this week and you could tell they were hungry for that first win. They benefited from having their captain Jordan Florence back in the side, but it was Rory Kirkby who really impressed this week, kicking 8 of Echuca's 19 goals.
Yeah, he's quickly becoming a star for Echuca up front there. I guess the challenge now for Echuca is you've got to take that form that you can display against one of maybe the lower sides of the league and start taking it up to the top boys with that, because they've lost to a couple of those big guns early in the season. So yeah, we'll hope they can improve a little in the future. United, massive 68-point win there. It was a real 4-quarter performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, they really dominated over all areas of the field. Nick Dennehy and Dwayne Houston showing again how valuable they are to United's scoreline, kicking 8 goals between them. And to keep Rumba to just 9 goals on their home ground is quite the achievement, as we all know how strong Rumba can be at that Mercury Sports Complex.
Yeah, that's right. And you don't want to be looking at the ladder this early in the season, but they're in the top 4. They're ahead of Moama, so things are looking very good for United so far. Moving across to Tongala, this was a really disappointing performance. They thought they could win this game. And look, if I just read you a little quote from the coach, Trav Edwards, our attack was average, our mids were beaten, and the defensive side of our game was non-existent. I mean, look, they're pretty strong words.
Yeah, and look, Cobram are a fairly strong outfit, so to enter that last break 17 points down is, while not impossible, it's a pretty big ask. But then to even have the margin blow out even more by the first quarter, by the end, was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, that's right. Look, they just wouldn't be happy. They're going to get a bit of a kick up the backside this week at training, you would have thought. Moving across to Moama, their disappointing first loss of the season, but when you fall behind 40-1 at quarter time, I mean, it just makes things so difficult. Even when they were able to get back into the game, you just use all your energy getting back, and they couldn't go on with the job and win it.
Yeah, but look, this could really be a wake-up call for the Moamas, because I feel like they have a lot more to give, and it'll be really good to see how they fare for the rest of the season after this loss. I still believe they're up there as one of the better sides, and it'll be great to see them finally start to show that and put that all together on the field.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's the first time they've lost at home in over a year, so look, as you said, it's a big wake-up call for them. They've got Denny Rams this week, so they need to get a win there.
Yeah, look, so we'll take a short break now, but when we come back, we'll have the Heathcote and the Pecola Leagues.
Whoa. All night. Just forget about everybody else. So long that I felt this. Nobody's gonna stop this. This a promise.
Well, welcome back. Moving across to the Heathcote League now, we had LBU going down by 47 points to Huntly. They actually played pretty well, ran out the game probably for the first time this season, just couldn't quite keep up with Huntly.
Yeah, both teams coming off no wins this season, so I thought it was one that LBU could really take control of and assert themselves in the Heathcote League, but it must be so frustrating for the coaches and players to know that they have that ability to play really strong footy, but they just can't seem to maintain it for the whole game, so not sure what needs to happen there.
Leachville Gunbower, brilliant as usual with an 133-point win, and the spread of goal kicking just brilliant again. 13 out of a team of 22. That just shows how great they are.
Yeah, it'll be really telling though when Leachy Gunny starts coming up against the strongest teams, but at this stage they're looking like a very tough team to beat. They've always been strong in their local playing group and they've got a really good even spread of players across the ground, so it'll be interesting to see exactly where they're sitting at the end of the season. We'll move across to the Cola League now. Mathiara losing to Denny Rovers 70 to 109. And look, they still felt they were still in the contest at three-quarter time, only down by 3 goals, but a few things just didn't go their way in the last, and I think the Rovers really stood up, eventually going down by 39.
Yeah, they did fight really hard, Mathiara, as you said, to go back in the game, just couldn't quite stay with them. Jake Ellery, 5 goals this week from the midfield. He kicked 6 from the midfield last week, so he's a bit of a star, that guy.
Yeah, look, in the end it was unfortunate for them not to get the win, but Phil Hazeman said all the boys came off the field feeling like they were really in the game and they were disappointed, and it's something we haven't seen from Mathiara for quite some time, so it's good to see that finally coming ahead. Then we've got Cola United. They took on Jerilderie this week and it was quite the blowout, 186 to just 2 points. It was hard for Jerilderie, I think, because they're in that rebuilding phase, and as we all know, that's when teams really struggle.
Yeah, that's right. 6 goals for Adam Jorgensen, brilliant performance. 4 for Scott Miles and Thomas Burns, so some stars there for United.
We now head into this week's games, brought to you by Dallas Price from Echuca United Junior Football Club for this week's fixtures.
Hi, my name is Dallas Price. I'm 10 years old from Echuca United Football Netball Club. This week in the GBL, Echuca take on Shepparton Swans in a night match at Vic Park. In the Murray League, Echuca United will play Finley at home, Mama will play Deniliquin away, and Tongala will host Kungupna. Lockington-Bamawm United will play North Bendigo in the Heathcote League. Leachville Gunbower play Heathcote away. In the Pecola League, Pecola United take on Tokemall away, and Mathawa has the bye.
Well, thank you very much, Dallas, and you can read the previews for those games in Friday's Riv. This week we had a chance to catch up with Martin Gleeson, who's the Region General Manager for AFL Goulburn Murray, so let's have a chat with him now.
So Martin, thanks for joining us this week. Did you want to start by just explaining a bit about what AFL Goulburn Murray does?
It's probably a good question. It's probably not something we've answered for a little while, but our role, I guess going back a couple of years, was set up to replace the Victorian Country Football League, which is now wound up. So across the state there's a number of commissions, 8 major ones and 4 minor ones. Our role is to represent football locally, to look at league, to do league operations, football governance, development, and also now with netball operations. So because our clubs are all football netball clubs, our leagues are football netball, then it's important for us to embrace netball. And then anything that offers in the interests of the game across the region. And we've got a local commission made up of 7 members who are all volunteers. So we're able to make local decisions and look at the local strategic needs of football and netball.
Well, for that full interview, head to riverineherald.com.au. That brings us to the end of our show for this week. Thank you once again for joining us, and be sure to tune in next week at riverineherald.com.au for the next episode of Game On, brought to you by the American Hotel. And we've also got all our coverage of the Interleague coming up next week, so be sure to tune in for that and grab a copy of Monday's paper for your Game On lift.
We're going to leave you with a little bit of fun this week. Some ferret racing at the LBU Football Club at one of their social nights on the weekend.
They're a bit slow out of the gate system. Here we go, number 3. Spade Holloway. Spade to the right. Ryan Norton is mid-headed.